Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the weekly press briefing. I am Superintendent Joanna Archie. We do not have any updates for you. However, we are cognizant of the fact that school is on vacation and children will be everywhere, on the streets, in the malls, at campsites, at sports clinics, and at beaches around the country. Children would be home for approximately 8 weeks. To all the children who sat the essay examinations, on behalf of the TTPS, we would like to say congratulations and continue to remain focused and keep reaching for the stars. However, to the parents and guardians and those who are entrusted with the custody and care of children during this period, you need to exercise caution and be vigilant where our children and young persons are concerned during these 8 weeks. At home, in circumstances where both parents work outside the home, during this period, the child or children may be sent to daycare or left with grandparents or other relatives. We want to advise against leaving young children in the care of very elderly relatives who would also need to be supervised themselves. Please ensure that your children are left in the care of responsible adults. They should be taught never to answer the door if their parents are not at home. Also, if they answer the phone and do not know who is on the other end of the line, they should never say that their parents are not at home. Only children who are old enough to capably use a stove should be allowed to cook. Even so, young children should never be allowed to light stoves or engage unsupervised in any activity involving fire. Children should be closely monitored whilst online. Make sure your child knows not to divulge any personal information such as name, address, phone number, etc. Also, it is a good idea to use a firewall or other computer programs to prevent a child from accessing pornography. Parents, if going to the beach, children must be closely monitored at all times. They should not be allowed to venture into the water unattended. To the parents or guardians, stay off your cell phones. Don't allow yourself to be distracted when your kids are in the water. And yes, chatting with other parents is a common distraction as well. Again, we want to remind parents about leaving children unattended in vehicles. It takes less than 10 minutes for a car to heat up, given the kind of weather we are now experiencing. We have heard of these tragedies arising out of parents forgetting infants or leaving a sleeping toddler in a car. Children are a great risk for heat stroke because their body heats up 3 to 5 times faster than an adult does. Camping. There are various types of camps being conducted during this period. Day-only camps and overnight camps. Whichever one you choose, ensure that a comprehensive check is conducted on the organizers of these camps and the personnel who will be taking care of your children. Look at their policies and other pertinent matters before signing up. Make sure the staff and counselors who are managing the camp are certified in the appropriate areas concerning the camp your child attends. Example, if your child is attending a camp that involves swimming, please ensure that the staff and counselors are certified in proper safety techniques. Generally, please, let's make the school vacation an enjoyable one for our young ones. They have worked hard, very hard during the school term, and they need your help to ensure their safety during this period. To all our children in Trinidad and Tobago, whatever you do, from the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, we want you to have an enjoyable vacation. As it relates to road safety, the TTPS wishes to express our heartfelt condolences to the families of those who have lost their lives over the past week. We continue to appeal to all road users to help us make our roads safer by practicing safe, courteous, and responsible road use. Initial reports from these tragic incidents suggest speeding was a major contributor to the outcome of the collisions. Drivers need to understand that speed limits are not random numbers placed on a sign on our roadways, but a regulatory requirement for ensuring that motorists can drive and safely control their vehicles in the event of an emergency. We note with increasing concerns the number of serious incidents involving heavy trucks and wish to remind truck drivers that according to the second schedule of Section 62 of the Motor Vehicle and Road Traffic Act, the maximum speed limit on the highway for any goods vehicle or truck where the MGW exceeds 2,540 kilograms with or without a trailer is 65 kilometers per hour. Truck drivers need to exercise greater caution on the nation's roadways, especially when driving with loaded trays. At this time of the year, with many students finishing their exams and getting ready for graduation, it is easy for parents to want to appease their children with rewards such as use of a vehicle to go to clubs or parties. But ask yourself, are they really ready for the road? The World Health Organization lists motor vehicle crashes as the #1 cause of injury-related deaths for persons ages 15 to 29 years of age. And road crash research has proven adolescent drivers are considered the most high-risk class of road users due to the issues involving sensation-seeking, peer pressure, and socio-emotional feelings of invincibility. When inexperienced driving is combined with alcohol use, crash risk increases exponentially. Statistics from the Traffic and Highway Patrol branch indicate that young male drivers ages 17 to 34 years continue to be the highest risk demographic for road traffic deaths in Trinidad and Tobago. Parents, please have a conversation with young drivers on responsible driving, especially on the dangers of speeding, fatigue, and alcohol use. Know the background of who is driving your son or daughter. Call their parents and find out more about their driving history. Contact the Maxi and Taxi associations to arrange alternative transport options. That way you have a vetted, designated driver and the teens can still have a good time at the party. Enroll adolescent drivers in a defensive driving course to enhance the road safety knowledge and driving skills. Bar owners, fete promoters, always ask for ID from persons to verify their ages for the legal consumption of alcohol. Plainclothes officers will be randomly checking on establishments with liquor licenses to enforce the prohibition of sale of intoxicating liquor to persons less than 18 years of age, as stated under Section 60 of the Liquor Licensing Act, Chapter 8410. Breathalyzer technicians will be available on almost every shift, with increased manpower during weekends for DUI-specific patrols. Any schools which would like officers from the TTPS traffic units to conduct a lecture to their young drivers or soon-to-be drivers on our iRoad Safe Road Safety campaign can contact their divisional stations to schedule them or contact the Public Affairs Unit of the TTPS. Ladies and gentlemen, I come to the end of our press briefing. I will now open the floor for any questions you may have.
Good morning, Superintendent. On the issue of parenting and the school vacation, what is the age that parents are allowed to leave children home unsupervised? Because I know during the school vacation, some parents may not have the money to send the children to camp, and some of them choose to leave them home. And I know there's a law governing that, I think, child abandonment. So, what is the age in which a parent is allowed to leave a child home unsupervised?
Under 16.
Okay, speaking on the issue of supervision and children, is there any update into the report of the drowning of Jemima Agag?
No, those investigations are still ongoing and we do not have an update, but I know that the investigations are still being conducted as we speak.
Okay, another update. I know last week we asked about the live sports program, the issue whether there was an investigation being launched into that, and you said you get that information first. Any word?
No, I do not have any word.
On the issue of speeding, I know some time back you all said that you all will be getting some speed meters and other equipment to help fight against road safety. Any update into how far you all have reached into acquiring these things?
Well, we are waiting legislation with respect to the speed guns.
And I think there were some other things to put in the road or something like that. Any?
No, I cannot add any further to that.
On the issue of road safety, still, there was also the issue of Stacey Rick. We were told we'll receive an update this week into the investigation of her death.
Well, the investigation is still ongoing. Persons are still being interviewed. There were some statements recorded, but the investigation is still ongoing.
And final question, I know the I Road Safe campaign, the last time I checked, it was in Tobago, and I haven't heard anything about it since then. Can you give me an update into how the campaign is going?
Well, there are several aspects to the campaign. It's around road safety generally. We continue to conduct our breathalyzer exercises around the country. We continue to go into, well, school is now on vacation, but we continue to go into schools and hold clinics all over the country on safe road practices. So it's an ongoing, it was launched in Tobago. However, road safety is always an issue for the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service.
Yesterday, the sister of Dina Sita called for accelerated and more in-depth investigation into the murder of her sister. At the last meeting when the commissioner came here, the acting commissioner, he indicated that the police service will also be seeking the assistance of foreign help in this investigation. Could you tell us where the investigation has reached and if we have any foreign help and what assistance we are getting from any foreign help?
Well, the last time the commissioner spoke, he, as you alluded to there, he did indicate that we were seeking assistance, and I cannot tell you exactly because he didn't choose to divulge that information. I know that the team of officers, they are working with the Director of Public Prosecution to tell you exactly what further directions they may have gotten on the investigation or where they have reached. I cannot. What I can tell you is they continue to communicate with the DPP on where they have reached with that investigation and is seeking guidance in that regard.
How concerned? Now, this murder, one of the few murders in Trinidad and Tobago, have gone viral. It has gone all over the world. To persons who know Dina Sital and persons who don't know Dina Sital. It is causing a serious dark cloud over Trinidad and Tobago. How serious, how concerned is the police service about this murder? And I know you'll tell me you're concerned about all the other murders, generally say, God say love everybody. But at the end of the day, how concerned, how serious is the police about this investigation into this murder?
Mr. McKnight, and I will repeat, the police officers have been working day and night on this investigation. They have been consulting with the Director of Public Prosecution, who have been guiding in that investigation as it relates to the evidence to lay charges against anybody. Any murder in Trinidad and Tobago is a concern for us, and we give it the same attention because it's a life lost. With respect to Ms. Dina Sitahal, I can tell you that the police service is expending all their resources to ensure that that matter or the persons who perpetrated that act will be brought to justice. And I am very hopeful and optimistic that those persons will be brought to justice.
On the issue of live sport, is the police providing security services, escort, anything for any individuals in the live sport program, any officials, anything like that? Since lives are being threatened.
Rephrase the
The
question
live
again.
sport program, official or unofficial, claims their lives are being threatened because of the live sport. Is the police service providing any personal security, any sort of security for any one of the officials in the live sport program?
I have not been so informed. One more question, sir.
Right. Some years ago, there was a situation in the Martin where a soldier was killed. Soldiers came in, set up camp, a lot of bacchanal, people got beaten. Eventually, the camp was dismantled. Up to today, nobody has been arrested. There were claims then that the police service was afraid of the soldiers. Take it back. Recently, again, East Port of Spain, soldier killed. Soldiers up and down the road, mask, army gear, guns, that kind of thing, by themselves, right? You talk to the police, they're not supposed to do that, they're wrong, not me, ting, all kind of. What's the situation with that? You know, you keep hearing talk, there is to be a meeting, there should be a meeting. What's the situation with that in terms of civil? And is the police service afraid of the army?
The Trinidad and Tobago Police Service continue to work with the Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force to ensure the safety and security of persons, residents in East Port of Spain and the country generally. I don't know what the issue of being afraid of the soldiers, where that came about or how that came about, that issue. What I can tell you is that with the allegations being made, I am aware that a release was made by the Ministry of National Security on the entire issue. And I was also advised that persons who felt that the members of the Defense Force would have abused the authority, they can call the regiment headquarters at 627-2782. However, we continue to work with members of the Defense Force to ensure the safety and security of our citizens.
Actually, that's not really what I asked. The soldiers have been working independently, choice of word, in the East Port of Spain area. As a matter of fact, there have been allegations of abuse. I was one of the victims of one of the attacks by the soldiers, right? I have spoken to both the commissioner and the association. And they all expressed concerns about soldiers working independently. Under the laws, under the Constitution of Trinidad and Tobago, soldiers cannot patrol independently. They cannot search people's vehicles and homes independently. And they have been doing it. I'm asking now, what is the police service doing about it? What are the concerns and what is the police service doing about that situation?
Well, I heard about your situation and I would have advised you. I understand you made a report.
Yes,
And that is being investigated. On all the other reports of allegations of abuse of authority, they are being investigated. To tell you what discussions were held with the heads of the Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force and the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, I know that there has been discussions, but I'm not privy to the outcome of those discussions to say anything at this point in time. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and do have a good day.